Hey guys, what's up? What's up? Welcome to the video. And here we're going to cover how to install and run cheats on your RetroArch for the PS3. Now, people who have used emulators for a while already, or maybe even if you're new, have been wondering how to install cheats into the PS3 RetroArch. Now, the older version, the 1.0.0.2, which has been out again for a long time, that one, there really didn't seem to be a way to install cheats into it, which is funny because it's kind of structured the same way as like the RetroArch that's made for Raspberry Pi, the little tiny microcomputer, which I happen to have one. And even on that one, you can run cheats. So on this newer RetroArch, this GUI version that came out last year, and they've been updating every now and then, and they just recently came out with another update. Um, this one does have a way to do it, but nobody explains it. So we're going to cover that here today. First, there's a few things that we need to cover. Okay, so you need to have obviously a modded system. That goes without saying, but I still need to say it. The other thing is you should have the RetroArch, the newer RetroArch with the GUI interface installed because it works on that one, not the old one. I did make a repack of that because if you install that into your system, if you have the old RetroArch installed, it will override it. And that's not what you want. Well, me particularly, I don't want that. I like to keep both. So I repack them. If you look at a couple of videos back, you'll see that I repacked the newer RetroArch GUI so that it installs somewhere different and it doesn't interfere with the old RetroArch, because the old one can do some things and can run some things, but the new one cannot, like Sega CD games, some of the homebrews and hacks and things like that. The other thing is that this is not the definitive way of doing this. You may find or may know a better way that's quicker, faster, whatever. Share with the rest of us so we can all benefit. And the other thing is that, guys, I did not make these codes. I didn't make these games. I didn't make these emulators. I know I'm going to get those one or two people here and there who are going to say, I'm trying to play XYZ game on XYZ emulator with XYZ cheats, but the cheats are not working. What's wrong? What's going on? What's up? I don't know. There's a billion, quadrillion, infinitillion cheats to equal amount of games out there that I don't know who made them or where they came from. Go to the dedicated forums for RetroArch or for that particular emulator and find out, from there, maybe what the issue is, okay? Because I'm not responsible for those codes. All right, let's go on to the next step. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. You really don't need a PC for this. Technically, you could do this from your phone and you can FTP the files into your PS3 or from a tablet or whatever. But yeah, the PC is just so much easier. I recommend, if you have a PC, that you get, and you should have this anyway, Notepad++. So just type in Notepad++ like it is here, okay, and then go to Notepad++ Home. It's completely free. There are no ads, nothing like that, and it's absolutely a great program. I think for Android, there's like Droid Note or Droid Pad. It comes, I think it's Droid Note. It comes close to this. Not quite, because this is an absolutely stellar program. But anyway, yeah, just find something for your phone or your tablet if you're doing it that way. That's the equivalent of Notepad++. The other thing is that you should, in your PS3, make some cheat folders. If you go here into Dev HDD0, you look right here, I made a folder called 1 Cheats. I put the 1 in front of it so it's on top and it's easier to find. Because when we're in RetroArch and you go looking for the cheat, you don't want to be scrolling through a bunch of shit. So if you put it right here and put a 1 in front of it, it's easy to find. And you could call it whatever you want. Inside of that folder, I made a few other folders. You can make folders for whatever systems you plan to use cheats for. So I did these 6 because I tested on these 6. And most of the cheats worked, so if not all of them. So GBA for Game Boy Advance, GB Color for Game Boy Color, Genesis, NES, Sega Master System, and SNES. Now again, you can name these whatever the hell you want, it doesn't matter. Alright guys, so you're going to navigate down now to the description, and in the description I'm going to have these couple of links. You're going to want to go to the link of the GitHub Libretro page, and that should bring you here. What you're going to want to do is when you're here, you're going to go over to this green box and you're going to click on clone or download and then click download zip. and then the zip file will download. After it is done downloading, you can go ahead and open up the zip file. Okay, when you open it up, you don't need to download everything or extract everything out of it. Just go into the folder, and all you want to do is take out this whole CHT folder. So just highlight the CHT folder, drag it out, send it to your desktop, which I've already done, and then just let it extract. Once it extracts, that's the only folder that we need from that zip file, and then you should have it here, and we'll go into it, and it should look like this. Oh, and don't go crazy, guys, just because you see, it says N64 here and Sega Saturn and stuff like that. This is not exclusive to the PS3. This is the database for the cheats for RetroArch across all the different platforms. So, ours doesn't have these. The N64 obviously, or the Sega Saturn or whatever. So don't think that because these are here that this is going to have functionality on the PS3. It's not. Okay, let's move on. So when you're here at the CHT folder, all right, you're going to basically just go into the emulator folder that you want and get the CHT file that you want, which is the cheat file. For Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, NES, SNES, Sega Master System, and the Sega Genesis, those were the 6 emulators that I tested, and for those 6, they all use the .cht file, which is the cheat file, and they're basically all structured the same way. So let's look at the Super Nintendo. Now I'm going to show you later on at the end of the video how you can make your own CHT file really easy with Notepad++, and how you can add to these or whatnot, because you can just right click it and open it with Notepad, or just open Notepad and then drag and drop the file in there, and then look. This is how they are pretty much all structured, at least for those 6 emulators I tested. So we're going to get back to that at the end of the video, because some of these, and there's a lot of games here, some of these games have some good cheats, but there's actually other cheats that are really good and work, or may work even better, that are not even here that you can add. So we're going to cover that at the end, so make sure that you keep watching. And really, most of these codes for like the Sega Genesis and the SNES and the NES, those are Game Genie codes that we're using. Some are Action Replay codes. For the older system like NES, the Sega Master System, those use like the Codebreaker codes or Game Shark, something like that. But we'll cover that more in detail later on. So our guinea pig here is going to be The Adventures of Batman and Robin. You need to make sure that when you grab one of these CHT files, that they need to be named exactly the same as your ROM. The other thing is you need to make sure that they're compatible with that ROM or the backup of the game. In other words, here this is The Adventures of Batman and Robin USA in Europe. That means if your ROM is like the Japan version of this game, then it's not going to work. So keep that in mind as well. If we go here into my PS, you see, in the interest of saving time, I already went into up here. I went into my ROMs folder, my SNES folder, and there's the ROM. And this is what it's called. Let me zoom in here a bit. And you see it says The Adventures of Batman and Robin. You need to make sure it's named exactly the same way. Uppercase, lowercase does matter. Spaces matter. Commas matter. Everything matters. The only thing you don't have to worry about is the .zip. The extension obviously doesn't matter. But everything before, to the left of that little dot, has to be exactly the same. So in the interest of saving time some more, I already had copied the name, so I'm going to come here, I'm going to hit rename, I'm going to hit paste, because I already copied the name, and there we go. Let's hit enter, and then you see here it says Adventures of Batman and Robin, whatever, the U is in parentheses, just like it is in my PS. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to transfer it into the PS. Remember those folders that we made near the beginning? So we're going to go there and we're going to put the CHT file in the appropriate folder. So if we go into the dev HDD0 directory, let's go here to my cheats folder. All right, and then guess where we're going to put it? Since this is SNES, we're going to put it right there. All right, so right now there's nothing there. Let's go ahead and go back. I'm going to FTP it in. Let's minimize that. Let's take this. Let's go into dev HDD0. And by the way, you can FTP if you have like Webman or whatever active. While you're in RetroArch, you can FTP I wouldn't suggest you do it while you're in the game, but you can FTP to test stuff out. Let's go ahead into cheats. Let's go into SNES and let's drag this file there. Okay, and there we go. So now the file is there. Let's go ahead and let's start RetroArch, the new GUI one, and I'll meet you there at the main menu. All right, so here at RetroArch, what we're going to do is we're going to go into Load Core, and since we're using SNES, you're going to go down and you're just going to pick the SNES core, which is the Super Famicom. When I did this testing, I used for the NES games and the cheats, I used Nestopia. The Sega Genesis, Sega Master System, and the Game Gear and all that use the same one emulator here, which is the Sega emulator. And then, of course, the Game Boy Advance only has one emulator, and the Game Boy Color only has one emulator, so it's pretty easy. So pick the SNES. Once you do that, which I've already done, you're going to go into Load Content. Let's go into Dev HDD0, and then you're going to go to your ROMs. In this case, I have mine. Everybody should, in the ROMs folder. Then we're going to look for the SNES folder, and we're going to look for the Adventures of Batman and Robin, and press X. And then we're going to hit Load Archive, which starts the game. And then here it's asking you which emulator to use. Of course, you're going to use the Super Famicom one. I don't even know why those other ones show as an example, because you can only use the SNES one. All right, so let's press Start to fast forward through all this stuff. I'm going to keep pressing Start. I remember when this game first came out, I was kind of blown away by the graphics. They were, at the time, they were really nice. I like how they look. Almost exactly like the cartoon. All right, so we're gonna go here and look at my health bar. Every time this guy punches me, you see that the health bar is going low. All right. Why is he running away from me? All right, so you see my health bar is going low. Now we're gonna hit L3 and R3 at the same time, and that will bring up the RetroArch menu. You're gonna scroll down till you find cheats. Press X. We're going to go to Load Cheat File, press X, go to Dev HDD0, and see, there are the cheats. That's why I put a 1, because they're right on top. Let's go into that, and then we're going to go into the folder SNES. And then there's the Adventures of Batman and Robin, there's the cheat, and when we press X on it, here are all the cheat files. Don't mess with the cheat passes, always leave that alone. When you want to turn on and off a cheat, simply hit right or left on the D-pad to turn them on and off. Okay, I wouldn't go crazy and turn on a whole bunch of them. Just start with a couple at a time or a few at a time. In this case, let's go to Infinite Energy. I'm going to hit right on the D-pad to turn it on, and you'll see you get the notification down in the bottom left corner in yellow. I wait till it's done, and then I move on to the next one. In this case, I'm just going to turn that one on. All right, and let's scroll up to the top. When you're done turning on your cheats, you're going to go to Apply Changes and press X. You'll get the notification down in the lower left corner in yellow, although it's kind of hard to see. They should have put it a little bit higher. Once the notification is done, I press L3 and R3 and watch my health bar. See, it went up, and look, no health is being taken away. And that's how you do it. That's how it works for all the other emulators as well. So now I'm going to show you how you can add in stuff, because look, this one has a lot of cool cheats, but one of the things it doesn't have is the run fast. See how Batman runs? He's running, but he's moving kind of slow. All right, so I'm going to show you how to edit and add to the cheats and everything. So let me go ahead and shut this down, and I'll be right back. By the way, guys, you should know this already, but just in case you don't, when you want to end the game, hit L3 and R3 together, hit circle to go back, and I would go here and then just hit close content, which actually kind of like ejects the game or unloads the game, and it takes you back to the main menu without any games loaded. And at this point, when I do that, that's when I would FTP more files in, or if I had to make a change to that file and then reload it again, that's what I would do. But I don't do it while in the game or anything. I get out of the game like here, and then I go ahead and I FTP the files in. All right, let's go ahead and let's get to the editing. All right, so let's go ahead and let's add some cheats here. Now down in the description is that link to this site right here, which is gamehacking.org. When you come here, there's a little box here called codes. All right, and let's go, since we happen to be using SNES. Let's go to the Super Nintendo section. And we're using the Adventures of Batman and Robin, so you don't have to be precise. You could just type Batman, and Batman and Robin comes up there. Let's hit enter, and there's one entry. All right, so it's for the USA version, so we're going to go here and click on the USA. And what I like about this site is that it tells you the ROMs that these codes should work for. Okay, so mine happens to be there. My ROM is Adventures of Batman and Robin, comma, the, with the U in parentheses, and so that's a good sign. Now remember, Genesis, NES, and SNES use primarily Game Genie codes. These codes are like for other emulators. So ours uses Game Genie. So when you're looking for these, and there might be a way to convert these other ones that say raw, but for now, when you're looking for the codes for those three systems, look for the ones that primarily say Genie, and those are Game Genie codes. Okay, and you can see this code, it's hit anywhere, but it takes 5 entries in order to make that one code work, which is okay. But anyway, we're looking for the one that makes me run faster, which is this one, move even faster, and this one has 2 codes to make it work. Right? On these, when you hit this drop down on any of these for any emulator or any section you're in, always pay attention to the encrypted column, what's on this side. Don't use the decrypted, at least for now. So you're going to pay attention to the encrypted side. Here's the Game Genie section, and there are the 2 codes. If it says not valid, then honestly I wouldn't use it. So let's, at least for those 3 emulators, for Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, and for the Sega Master System, you can use the code breakers, which here it'll usually say CB, or you can use Game Shark, which I think it says GS, or sometimes it will say RAW, but when you click on it, you'll see the Game Shark option in there for those 3 emulators. And then you'll see it'll say Action Replay or Game Shark right here. And if it has codes, you can use those codes for those 3. So right here, we're focused on the Game Genie. Let's copy those 2 codes. All right, and let's open up our Adventures of Batman and Robin cheat file with our Notepad++. Now remember, there's 14 cheats here, right? Let's go down to the bottom. I'm going to hit enter a few times so we have some space to work with, and let me paste the codes here. So basically, let me go ahead, and what we're going to do is copy this. We're just going to edit it. Now I'm going to have to write everything all over again. Okay, and let's paste it. Let me hit enter a few more times. Okay, and let me change this. Remember, this is to make him run faster, and it takes 2 codes, so this is what we're going to have to do. Run fast. One of 2. All right, and then here we're going to put the code we just downloaded or copied, the first one. There, I'm going to hit Control C to copy. I'm going to put it in between the quotes and then paste it. And now that we have that, we need to change this to 14 because now it's the 14th. It's not the 14th entry, it's actually the 15th entry, but we're up to number 14. All right, so that's 14. Now this, we can copy this. Now the reason why I put 1 of 2 is because remember, it takes 2 codes to make this one sheet work. So I'm going to copy that, I'm going to paste it here and run fast, and now this one's going to be 2 of 2. Right? Here are the codes. I already used the first code, now we're going to use the second code. We don't need the first one anymore. Let's do that. Let's put that there and let's paste it. All right? Now I can go ahead and delete all this. All right, like so. And now we added 2 entries. Oops, I almost forgot. We have to change this to 15. All right, so now that's 15. Now we're going to scroll up here, and remember, we added 2 entries. We added 14 and 15. Even though it's 1 code, it's 2 entries. So we need to change this from 14 to 16. And then save it. Now I'm going to transfer it over to my PS3, just like we did before, and I'll meet you over at RetroArch. Now remember, the good thing about this is that while you have Webman and stuff installed, even if RetroArch is in the background, we can go ahead and transfer this file over. So I'm going to transfer it over. Let's overwrite the one that's there. Okay, and let's go ahead and go here to RetroArch. And what I like about this too is that it remembers here. There's a like a recents column, I guess, and there's the Adventures of Batman and Robin. So we'll just press X and then hit run. And I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through all this stuff. Okay, so here we are, and let's go ahead. And you can see there I'm still running kind of slow and whatnot. So let's bring up L3 and R3. Let's go to cheats. Let's do load cheat file, HDD0. Let's go to the cheats, SNES, and our new updated CHT file. And now notice that where it says cheat passes, notice it says 16. Alright, so let's go ahead and scroll all the way down, and there are the two cheats we added. So we need both of them on to make them run faster. Let's turn this one on by hitting right on the D-pad, and let's turn the second one by hitting right. And let's go ahead and turn on the infinite energy also. We're then going to scroll up to apply changes. We're going to press X and apply the changes, and once it's done, then we'll go ahead and hit L3 and R3 again. Uh-oh, something happened. Oh, there we go. And let me beat this guy up, and watch how fast he runs now. Look at that. Alright, so look at this. Now he's just cruising along, and I still have infinite health. See? Alright, that's it guys, and that's how you update it. Thanks for watching the video. Sorry it was so long. Don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe. I hope you enjoy this. We'll see you on the next one.